Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 8 3-minute rounds in the super middleweight division. This bout is brought to you by Mark Nielsen of Nielsen Boxing in association with John Trethui of TM14 Promotions and proudly sponsored by Zapply and Gladius. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representative, Chaz Coakley. Your timekeeper at the bell, Ashley McGill. And your third person in charge of the action in the ring, referee Sean McAvoy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the black and red. His official weight of 171.4 pounds. He has a record of 3 fights, 1 loss, 2 wins, and one of those wins come in by way of knockout. Hailing from Mansfield, Nottinghamshire, England, United Kingdom, introducing Deimantas Mickevicius. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the blue trunks. His official weight of 172.7 pounds. He is currently undefeated with 4 wins, and one of those wins come in by way of knockout. Hailing from Royston, Hertfordshire, England, United Kingdom, introducing George Crotty!
Okay, lads, 8-round contest. Keep it clean all the time, keep yourself protected all the time. Touch gloves, here we go. Good luck, lads.
Seconds out, round 1.
Well, this is round 1 of an 8-round contest in the super middleweight division between Royal Marine Commando George Crotty and Deimantas Mickevicius. Born in Lithuania, lives in Mansfield now. Crotty's made a fantastic start so far to this first round in the southpaw stance. Already landed some clean left hands onto the chin of Mickevicius.
Yeah, Mickevicius trying to push forward, trying to create the pace, set the pace in this one. But George Crotty, who we've seen a couple of times before here at the York Hall, knows how to control that space and defuse opponents like that. He's got great boxing skills, boxes well out of that southpaw style, just them little shuffles of his feet in and out of range, timing's good. It's going to be interesting to see here against Mickevicius, who's a very capable come-forward fighter.
Well, George Crotty, he is an impressive man. He had 149 amateur bouts, won 122 of them. And so far, he's had 4 professional fights, 4 wins, 1 win coming by way of knockout. He's an impressive man, like I said, and you can see the athleticism as he boxes in York Hall this evening. He's got plenty of support here tonight. And his coach, Sab Leo, in the corner with him this evening. There is so much experience in that corner tonight, Spencer.
Yeah, there is. No Sab Leo, very, very well. Used to be with the Hoddesdon ABC, doing great things for the amateurs, and now doing brilliant things for the pros as well.
Well, Mickevicius is also an incredibly decorated amateur. He represented Lithuania in some of the world's major tournaments, done very well, he's a very successful man. Again, he's had 1 win by way of knockout. Both men in there have got some power, and this could be a bit of a showreel finish. Denzel, what do you think?
I think Crotty's controlling the distance really well. He's throwing nice jabs at his opponent. He's good defense there off the ropes. He just needs to turn his man and get back to the center.
Yep,
pushing back now, that.
that's exactly what he's doing there. Good defense though, like you say, like just leaning back off the rope, staying nice and composed, not panicking at all, taking the shots very well. Mickevicius is one of those guys, like you said, has a great amateur pedigree, so he knows his way around the ring as well. He knows how to control a fight, control the space. You know, I think one of his main assets, Mickevicius, is his strength. He likes to come forward, can be a little one-dimensional. But someone like George Crotty can exploit that, and I think that's what we saw there in that first round.
Most definitely, Denzel. You know what these fighters bring to the ring, and you've seen what with all the talent this evening at your call tonight. Talk us through that first round.
I mean, I think that first one, George controlled it. He was good with the jab, good with the straight shots, turning his man, good defensively, and I think he built a comfortable standard there to push on for the next round.
Yeah, Crotty controlled that really behind his southpaw lead jab. He was catching Mickevicius as he was coming in.
Corners,
Mickevicius
10
struggling
seconds.
with that southpaw style, and I think that was the difference in that first round.
Yeah, and I've just been told you once described him as a
Seconds
young
out,
Karzagi.
round 2.
Well, let's see how round 2 goes.
Well, like Spencer says, we're in round 2 of 8 of this super middleweight contest between George Crotty and Deimantas Mickevicius, sorry, I've mispronounced that. But Crotty has done well. He's kept his range in the first round. Mickevicius has walked into a few of Crotty's jabs from the southpaw stance. He's got a great team behind him, gets a lot of support from Bradley Chapman as well, the Royal Navy coach. Says that the Marines have really helped his boxing career, support him incredibly well. I mean, if you want a team behind you, you'd want the British Royal Marines behind you, wouldn't you, Spencer?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you want Joe Karzagi behind you, boxing, replicating what he does, then you need to put those shots together, punches in bunches, because Karzagi was so good at that, out of that southpaw stance. Not was he awkward to hit and control the space so well, but put the shots together so well as well. Crotty, to his credit, is putting the shots together very well tonight himself. Timing's very good. And let's see now if he can turn the screw, go through the gears, and catch the eye of the punters here tonight. Lovely shot there with a back left hand. Turn that into a little uppercut. The shot selection's good, Dens. The timing's great as well. There's a lot to like about this kid.
100%, he's definitely impressing me. I mean, I know how good he is because I've seen him fight before, and he's been at the gym sparring, and I have sparred him before, but he's putting on a real good performance tonight. Just spinning off the jab. Oh, he looks good tonight. Sorry, Priya.
No, I interrupted you, I'm sorry. But, his defensive skills off the ropes as well, Crotty types up nicely, takes them on his gloves, and then finds his way back quickly to the centre of the ring. He boxes well on the back foot. He knows how to put it on him going on the front foot.
You know what it is? It's the judgment of distance, like where he's not wasting a lot of stuff. He sees the shot coming and he'll move a couple of inches, and that's all you have to do to get out of the way of a punch. But you've also got to have, you've got to have a lot of technical ability to be able to do that. Just sort of turn the head and miss the shot, or just slip back instead of, burning a lot of energy by jumping out or moving too much off the movement. And he does that very, very well. So it's very controlled. It's just slight little movements that he's conserving a lot of energy whilst he's defending. Look how quick he counter-punched there.
Oh, a lovely counter. And that's all because he's got a good eye. He's got a good eye. He knows what he's looking at. He can see things coming. The minute...
It's a lovely combination of punches straight through the middle there on the chin of Deimantas Mickevicius from George Crotty.
I tell you what, Denzel, he keeps doing that. I'm going to compare him to a younger Joe Karzagi if he keeps putting his shots together like that.
Oh. Yeah, no, he's looking good, and as I was saying, he has a good eye. As soon as Mickevicius even just twitches, Crotty reacts. He reacts, and it's yeah.
And there's a dominant first 2 rounds there from Crotty. And let people understand this here. Mickevicius, as you said, used to box for his country. He boxed in a lot of major tournaments. Lithuania is a good country. They're tough, tough out there. You look back at some of the great fighters that they've had from Lithuania, in the professional ranks.
Yeah.
And you go, you know, this kid is not an easy pushover, but he's making it easy tonight.
He's definitely not a pushover.
Mario Barrios is what I was trying to think of. Mario Barrios was from Lithuania.
Okay.
Very tough fighter, you know, well seasoned.
And they are good, they do produce good amateurs. They have hundreds of amateur fighters, they know they teach that Eastern European style of boxing, but Crotty is handling it well. The way he's using
Corners, 10 seconds.
Everything's just falling into place just because the jab is so on point tonight.
Set out, round 3.
Well, we're in round 3 of this 8-round contest in the super middleweight division between George Crotty and Deimantas Mickevicius of Lithuania. Lives in Mansfield now. Both fighters seasoned amateur boxers turned professional. Both fighters have plenty of international experience, so very, very well matched in the professional ranks. But Crotty completely dominating so far in this contest. Mickevicius struggled to really get a foothold in this fight, Spencer.
Yeah, he has, because Crotty's, you know, doing what he does so well. He's like relaxed now, he's slipped into a rhythm, he's putting his shots together, you know, and you're talking about comparisons to other great fighters and whatnot. This kid has it all. Like, you go, you're struggling to look for any technical faults that he does. You know, his judgment of distance is brilliant. He slips and rolls shots really well, and now we're seeing him throwing those punches in bunches out of that southpaw style. He doesn't waste a lot, but look how good he is, solid he is defensively. Very impressive stuff. He's a tough guy to beat, you know.
He's tough, he's intelligent, and he's very systematic in his work. A nice left uppercut through the middle of there onto the chin of Deimantas Mickevicius from the southpaw stance of George Crotty.
The counters from Crotty tonight are just, for me, I mean, are amazing. I'm enjoying them. Short right hook in between.
Listen, when you're talking about, look, when you're talking about, that was lovely.
Shot.
Just beautiful. Like, he's got into a rhythm now. He's picking those shots, and you know, this is a star of the future for sure. Crotty, like, you can spot a star early on in a career when you go. He seems to have everything, right? He's enjoying himself in there right now against a very tough guy, and he's making him look very mediocre.
Yeah.
You know, very basic. This kid's a good rep for his country. You know what I mean? You have to be good to box at that level.
Yeah.
Your skill set has to be good. And look what Crotty's doing to him.
Mickevicius trying to come back with some of his shots of his own. He's tried to target the body of Crotty, but Crotty seems to have just taken it well. And if Mickevicius trying to up the tempo, Crotty's able to up the tempo even further and just dominate.
Yep, boxing well off the back foot here.
Lovely uppercut
Crotty.
again up through the middle from Crotty as he lines it up.
That's what I'm saying. It's the long-range stuff, mid-range stuff, and short-range stuff that's so impressive. You know, some fighters are good at long range. Other fighters are good when they're sitting in the pocket with their head on their chest, and other fighters like to control that space from mid-range. He seems to do a little bit of it all, and that's what catches the eye.
Yeah. When he wants to, when he's inside, he's nice and tucked up, and he's short little counters like he's doing now. When he wants to, he goes out back into range, everything off the jab. I mean, wherever you want him, he can handle himself.
And we're already in the final 10 seconds of round 3 of this 8-round contest in the super middleweight division. These rounds are going quick for us. This is entertaining stuff tonight, Spencer.
Yeah, Mickevicius is going to find this very, very tough for him tonight, because George Crotty has now slipped into a rhythm, and that rhythm is going to be hard to break. Mickevicius is trying, he's pushing forward, but when you're doing that, the chaos creates opportunity. And when chaos creates opportunity, someone like George Crotty, with that shot selection that he's got, will create those holes, and he'll take that opportunity. And that's what we're talking about when you're talking about levels to the game. You know, you can't afford to make any fundamental mistakes, because if a guy has a good boxing IQ, he'll find those holes and he'll make you pay for that. Crotty will do that with Mickevicius, because
Corners,
he's a guy that comes
10 seconds.
forward and he'll give it a go, and he'll sit in the pocket and he'll try and be too greedy, and that will leave his openings. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one unfolds.
Well, we're in round 4 of what has been an exciting night of boxing so far, and George Crotty has absolutely not let us down on that front. He's been absolutely sensational in this fight so far against Lithuanian-born Deimantas Mickevicius. Now living in Mansfield, George Crotty has put his skills together and put them to good use as he's just landing a nice left hand straight down the pipe onto the chin of Mickevicius.
Yeah, Mickevicius looks like he's in great shape, and he's going to have to be tonight, because them barrage of punches that keep coming and keep hitting you, they slowly, systematically break you down physically and mentally, you know. But Mickevicius at the moment, to his credit, he's soaking them up like he just soaked up that big uppercut again there. Sickening shot that, Denzel.
I mean, Crotty seems to look like the much bigger man in the ring there, Denzel. I mean, he's very imposing in terms of his stature too.
Yeah, I mean, Mickevicius looks like he would be the stronger man, but Crotty's not fazed by, you know, Mickevicius' physicality. He's sitting in there with him, he's covering up nice, beautiful counters. The uppercut there, look at the right eye of Mickevicius. I think he's going a little bit.
Yeah, it's going. It's definitely a swelling over that one, and that is from that back left-hand uppercut. He keeps landing that. He's found that now. It's this little sweet shot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. He's found it nice, and he's found a home. I think it's even a cut on the eyelid.
You can definitely see blood running down the right eye of Mickevicius. But that's beautiful work there from George Crotty as he lines the jab up from behind the uppercut. He cannot miss with those shots, Spencer.
I tell you what, the referee's taking a close look at Mickevicius there. That eye is getting worse by the second. Cut right across the eyelid, the blood flows into the eye. That is a big problem. That's what the doctors look at. If the blood's running down the side of the eye, then it's not so problematic. But when it's running into the eye, it's a big, big problem.
Well, it's a good call there from the referee. Obviously, the safety of the buck fighters is of paramount importance here.
No, I think he's going to stop this one. Referee has just said...
There's a lot of
sorry, the
shaking of
doctor has
heads
just
in
said
that
he doesn't
corner.
like this one. Yeah.
And George Crotty has stopped this contest because of a cut to the right eye of Deimantas Mickevicius in the 4th round of this 8-round contest. Doctor taking a look at him. Great respect between the two, but there's no doubt in my mind that Crotty put on one hell of a performance.
Yeah, he certainly did. That was caused by that lead left uppercut. It was the sweet shot for him. He landed it a couple of rounds earlier, and he kept throwing it, he kept landing it. Mickevicius showed incredible courage, a lot of character to stick in there. But George Crotty just underlined what we've all thought already. This is a kid of star in the future, one to keep your eye on. 5-0 now, 2 KOs, and this is some of the great work before the finish. And I'm sure they're going to pick up the uppercut here. This is where it might come. There was the shots through the middle from Crotty. There, look at the way he's judging the distance there, slipping out of range. Short check hooks in there as well for good measure. And yet, I called it earlier on, reminiscent of a young Joe Calzaghe, and I'll tell you what, he's not doing anything wrong so far, is he? I think this kid has the potential to go all the way. And it's not a particularly straight road. There will be a few bumps in that road, but he's got that star quality about him for sure.
Well, the atmosphere at York Hall tonight is absolutely electric. We're looking around and the crowd are on their feet for George Crotty this evening. He's done himself so proud. Absolutely no denying that his performance was outstanding, and we can see it on the replays here, Spencer, that he just handled business in such a clean and clinical way.
Absolutely, it was cool, calm and collected. You know, the delivery, the execution was perfect. Controlling the space, worked everything behind that southpaw jab, starting up in the tempo as the rounds were going on. There's the combinations I'm talking about, 6, 8 punches at a time. Shot variety was brilliant, there's uppercut, excellent.
Position to continue, therefore your winner by TKO, still undefeated, George Crotty!